Welcome to a brand new episode about the Amiga CD32. We're honing in specifically on the Team17 game releases. And it's fair to say that Team17 have given us such amazing memories as we've all grown up. And that's why I thought it was critical for me to drill down some Amiga content and focus on Team17. So today we're going to be talking about lots of games. I've captured lots of footage and we're going to be taking a look at those games from A through till F. And there will be some follow-up episodes later in the Team17 Amiga CD32 series. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, sit tight and watch this entire video because I guarantee you're going to get some value in this one. Let's roll the intro. So what better place to start than with Alien Breed? So for this little stint of Alien Breed goodness, I decided we would capture some Tower Assault, released in 1994. This was by no means a perfect game compared to the predecessors, in my opinion, but it still holds true to the overall ethos of Alien Breed, which is that of a top-down shooter, influenced heavy by the movies Aliens. Now what's interesting to me is that Team17 themselves state that Tower Assault is one of the defining games of this series, especially with this being the final 2D Alien Breed game. But for me, I do prefer the much more linear approach to the game in that there's just one way to go. And I guess some people might not like that because, again, in fact, Team17 say that there are over 250 ways to complete Tower Assault, and that's because it's not linear. You can go anywhere you want to, and there are arrows on the floor, sometimes telling you which direction you go, and if you follow that and you go on to the next map screen, you can't go back. So it's definitely not a linear experience, and I think people need to bear that in mind. It definitely provides more of a challenge, and for me this is why I do really like Tower Assault, because if a game's linear, you can kind of meander through at your own pace and just go where you need to go. But this, you can kind of carve your own little adventure and you can do what you want, you can go where you want, I guess at your own pace. So Tower Assault is special in its own right. Now, upon first playing this, I was a little bit baffled and I thought I'd completely ruined the controls, but actually no. There's a really cool feature of this, whereas I think if you press the yellow button on the CD32 pad, you can spin around and look backwards, and you can kind of shimmy backwards while it's still firing, so it gives you a bit more, I guess from the player's perspective, it gives you a bit more of a kind of 3D, or rather 360, if I can get my words out, ability to shoot. So I thought that was actually a nice feature. But let me know what you guys think of all the Alien Breed games, and which one in particular is your favourite, guys. Beautiful Alien Breed, lots of Alien Breed games, and of course you guys have been screaming at me about a game called Dread, which was a homebrew game on the Amiga CD32, which is a bit of a mixture of Alien Breed and Doom. I must check it out. But moving on, we're still in the A's, and next we're going to be taking a look at all-terrain racing. All-terrain racing is a proper cool little top-down racer for the Amiga, and it's really cool. As you guys can see here, you can customize your vehicle just that little bit, and it just adds to the realism. I mean, imagine playing this back in the day and being able to just customize your vehicle off the bat. For me, I think that's really, really cool. Now, this game, it's easy to compare it to the likes of Micro Machines. Micro Machines, of course, was super dominant on 16-bit consoles back in the 90s, but I think that this does shine in its own right. Clearly me there taking a bit of a wrong path and just completely losing track here, literally, excuse the pun, losing track, haha, ignore me. But back to this, it does boast lots of character. One of the things I notice is if you look around the side of the track, there's different games advertised for the Amiga, and you'll also clock Team17's headquarters. As you guys can see, it was just out of shot there, super cool. Now, the animations are really nice. nice in this game. The colour palette's also really, really nice in this game. I think it's cute. We've got little palm trees that glow. We've got the little water, the oil. I mean, what's not to like here, guys? It's really cool, and I strongly suggest you guys pick it up. If you don't want to grab it on your CD32, perhaps you can just grab it on your Amigas instead. It's probably going to be a bit cheaper that way. Solid game, but if you like your micro machines, you will be familiar with that. It's not so fun playing it as a single person. Obviously, it's much better played as two-player, a bit of couch co-op there, but I had to include it as it is a classic game. Next up then was a game that when I was capturing footage, I was notoriously bad at. This is Assassin. So this one was a pretty cool game. We have Assassin here. It was released by Team17 in 1992, and I went straight into this jumping all over the place. I actually felt more like Sonic than a refined assassin ninja megastar, but nonetheless it's really, really cool, and I found the addition of having these dogs chase me, I don't know if it was like fun or I just wanted to kind of stop and pet them, but I actually thought, wait a minute, it's not actually attacking me. But then this happened. Note to self, Gemma. Don't pet the dogs. In fact, don't touch anything. There's an array of enemies in this game. We've got the bad guys, we've got dogs, and even cannons later on into the game. This game is a good pace, it's fast, and you do need to be quite quick on your controllers or your joysticks, depending on which platform you're playing on, to be able to be good at this game. But rest assured, you're definitely going to get a challenge out of this one, and it places firmly in the Team17 Hall of Fame.
And yes, we are still in the A's. Like I said, loads to come. You need the agility and reflexes of a ninja to be able to be successful at Apache.
Apache was released in 1993. And I like this game, not just because it has like a cool back, mid and foreground, so making it look pretty darn good actually, but it reminded me of a 2D, kind of like Desert Strike, Jungle Strike kind of game where you're picking up people that you need to rescue, dodging enemies, whatever kind of enemies they are, whether it's missiles, other aircraft or just rocks and just dodginess that, as you can see around the environment, this is pretty darn difficult to navigate. It was banging into everything, but it's fun, and I said that you need to have the agility of a ninja to be able to be good at this, so I'm kind of going to hand the reins over to you, and I'm going to ask you this: who's good at this game? Who's bad at this game? Clearly you can see that I'm pretty bad at this game. Just be mindful as well that you can't progress through the area as much as or as quick as you might like to, because you have to make sure that you pick up everybody you need to rescue within a certain area before you're allowed to progress, and once you've done so you need to drop them back off at the starting point, as you see here. I'm very carefully trying to navigate and then land and drop everybody off before you can continue, so just be mindful of that. And even straight off the bat here, it just gets insanely difficult. It seems like this should be level 10, not level 1, because there's so much stuff going on, and I crash. And I had fun crashing, because this has made me smile so much. It reminds me so much of games we used to play around at my friend Richard and Matt's, and I dare say it's one of those other classics that the Team17 guys are super proud of. I do believe this got a free release as well if you purchased Body Blows back in the day, so yeah, it was kind of an interesting one really. And Apache, again, it's another built-in Team17 title.
Now we're finally out of the A's and into the B's. I was dead bad at this game as well, but it was really, really fun to play, and it's kind of like a two for one here in this next one, because we're going to be focusing on Body Blows and then the ultimate release of Body Blows.
Body Blows! It is absolutely solid. I get my behind handed to me by Maria. I just couldn't get to grips with the controls, but nonetheless, I think if I practice more on this, I'm probably going to learn the dark arts, the dark secret arts of body blows, and at that, you know, I'm up for that. I'm down. Is anyone out there good at this game? I really want to meet you. If so, please let me know. Now, obviously, floating around the kind of early to mid 90s, we were obviously dominated by Street Fighter, and this doesn't come anywhere near the likes of Street Fighter at all. I mean, it does have just a basic one-player game. You can also have a tournament, which is here. I'm actually playing against a two-player, which obviously there's no two-player controller in, but it gave me a chance to practice my moves. But I will say that Ultimate Body Blows actually felt slightly easier to control, and I found that quite startling going from from Body Blows across to Ultimate, because it just seemed like a huge upstep. Like, you saw the character screen there, which again is very reminiscent of the likes of Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter alike, and believe it or not, I actually did last a little bit longer in this. I played with two characters. I'm playing here first with Maria, who is a much more agile and I guess nimble character compared to the one that I end up playing with, and I really like that balance of characters feeling very different when you're playing with them, when you're fighting with them. The physics felt different. Every kind of punch, kick, move, drop, no matter what it is you were doing, it felt really, really different. So I think that was super cool. But this guy felt like sludge.
Into the seas now with some really nice intro graphics. Guys, have you played Cardiacs on the Amiga CD32? Let's check it out.
Cardiacs is very similar to Super R-Type on the Super Nintendo in terms of its gameplay. It doesn't boast as much of a colour palette, and it certainly doesn't look as nice. I mean, the background is pretty darn plain in comparison, but if you've played Super R-Type, you know what to expect in Cardiacs. Another thing that I really enjoyed about this was just how cool it sounded. You know, the sound effects and the music went really, really well together, as you've just heard. Now, I found the gameplay far too fast, and I tended to be slowing down a lot just to make sure that I landed my shots. But it was quite easy once you got the hang of it, because the enemies that came on screen tended to have the same rotation. So they'd come on, say, from the top, exit at the bottom, or side to side, and then they'd come on from the top again in the same place, and they would exit in the same place. So once you had that down, you had the general rhythm of this game down. So whilst this game, Cardiacs, started off quite the challenge, it's fun because if you stick with it and you really pay attention, you can nail it down, because it tends to make in essence, it's almost like a rhythm game. You've got the enemy's patterns down, you can shoot and kick some ass.
Next up then, for the petrol heads, is a classic. It looks really, really good on the Amiga CD32, and it doesn't play bad either. I'm going to be showing you some time trial, or rather I think it was just a practice race actually, footage that I caught on this game right here. Let's go.
I've always said that my favourite racing game is the Lotus Trilogy, but that wasn't developed by Team17. So we're focusing on this bad boy. This is a pretty worthy competitor in my opinion. Really nice select track screen here. We're kind of going through. Obviously I picked Great Britain, and as you can see looking at it, there's quite a lot to offer. It's not just a basic road and a you know, a Formula 1 car. You've got your lap times at the top, your best opponent, best lap. There's lots of metrics in this game that make it quite competitive and quite fun to play. I started off on the most basic. I think it was just either a single player or time trial or something here, so there wasn't that much by way of other cars on the road, but I slowly started to fall in love with this game, and I've also read a lot of good things about it. If you Google this game, there's a massive community out there that really appreciate this, and I think if you pay attention to like even the background, you've got a really nice colour palette of blues, whites, pinks and purples back there. I mean, it looks fantastic, and I think it really showed what the Amiga could do in terms of running just pretty cool games.
Next up then, one of the characters in this video game, one of the fighters, looked a little bit like Joe Biden, and I couldn't help but focus on my character, Joe Biden, so to speak, in this game. This is Full Contact on the Amiga CD32.
That intro is possibly my favourite intro on any Amiga home computer or console. It's absolutely hypnotic. Anyway, this is Full Contact, and we're going to get into some gameplay. I win at both battles, and it's very easy compared to Body Blows. So if you're looking for a fighter that's a little bit easier, I would suggest you check out Full Contact. Now, my character is on the right, and I can't help but think he looks like Joe Biden. It absolutely creased me. I was in stitches when I was recording this, so much so that I just decided to just jump all over the screen like flipping Sonic. And I will say that that jump animation is, what is that? Like, is that some kind of special fighting tiger pose? I don't know. I'm going to be tweeting this out to Team17, and hopefully they'll give me some feedback. And if you guys want to do the same, please tweet this out to the guys at Team17 and let's give them a nostalgia trip as well. And use my hashtag Team24 in doing so, and I will retweet you. So it does lack a little bit in sound, and I'm sure there could be many critics that look at the likes of Full Contact and say this is terrible, and it probably is in comparison to what we had back then, Mortal Kombat. And in fact, all the iterations of Street Fighter were absolutely on point. Street Fighter 2 rather. But there's something charming about this. There's something really charming. And if you take note, once this battle is over, there's some really cool kind of in-between fight scenes that I think just add to the immersion of this game. Now, Joe Biden though, just saying, I can't get over it. Absolutely brilliant Joe Biden. So we get our win down, and this is what I meant here about the kind of animations in between. This is real time, I don't cut it at all, but I do think that's really cool. And again, it just gives up this little text with actually really good graphics. And check it out, you can upgrade different things. You can upgrade your punches, your kicks, your block. That is mind-blowing. We're talking Amiga, that is absolutely mind-blowing. Now, bonus levels. What would a fighting game be without a good bonus level? Okay, so it's literally jump, duck, jump, duck. How did I do? Here's how I did. Yeah, failed. Failed, but that's fine, because I'm going to get some practice in and I'm going to beat that bonus level. Yes!
Gorgeous intro visuals, very hypnotic to look at. Really enjoyed that, and I was actually a lot better at Full Contact than I was for Body Blows. So if you want a bit of a fighting game, I would definitely check out Full Contact over Body Blows. But that concludes this first portion of the Amiga CD32 Team17 celebration. There will be lots of follow-up parts, and I'm going to be capturing a lot more footage. So please share your CD32 or just perhaps your Amiga 500 or 600 or 1200 memories in the comment section. We're keeping the Amiga alive. It is an awesome experience, whether you play it on any of the iterations really. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to get back up there and switch on the 32 now. Have a good day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.